All right, tower work today, only using the push through bar. Let's get it sprung from below and we'll start with some footwork. All right, so find the position that best suits you, whether you're facing the opposite direction or how I am. You're gonna place your toes up onto your push through bar in that Pilates V, if that works for you, right? If not, right, you're gonna find more of a parallel. So make sure every toe pad is connected. And it might even feel like those first 2 or 3 toes are reaching up and over the bar. Find your arms long down by your side and just take a moment here and breathe into your spine, into your ribs, and just think of creating space from head to tail, allowing that tailbone to settle into the mat, trying your very best to find that tiny arch in the small of your back. And now keeping that tailbone heavy and your collarbone broad, start to bend the knees and pull that bar into you and then press the pedal away, the bar away. And just like we do on the chair and everywhere else, I want an exhale as the knees bend and then an inhale as the legs go straight. Exhale as the knees bend. Inhale, the legs straight. So just like we do everywhere else, think of this as being kind of a hamstring curl. So there's also a little push away of the bar towards the end of the mat. The palms are anchored down. The front of the throat is open. And you're watching those ankles closely to see that they're hugging in. And there's not a whole lot of shifting going on. Let's do 2. And last one. Let's go ahead and come onto the arches, that hip socket distance apart. So equally wrap the toes and heels around and just pause here for a moment. Think of those heels, I say equally, right? But think of the heels maybe reaching up and over that bar just a hair more than your toes, just so you can feel that back line open up. And then from here, you exhale as the knees bend, and then inhale the bar away. Don't forget about that upper body. So that chest is open, those upper arm bones are trying to stay connected to the mat. Anybody else's knees creaking here? Imagine you've got like a squishy ball between your thighs or your knees, so there's just a gentle hug there. And once again, your tailbone is staying heavy and reaching long to the end of the mat. Let's do 2. And 1. Now let's come on to the heels. And hold here once again. Feel like the back of your thighs are drawing away from your chest, but also anchoring down into those hip sockets. Your feet are flexed. And for my tight people, this feels pretty unbearable. Keep that flex of your feet. And now pull the bar into you and then press it away. Exhale, the knees bend, and then inhale the bar away. And just like footwork on the reformer or really anywhere else, think of the big balls of your feet kind of pushing forward and the pinky toes pulling back. And that should create kind of like this magnetic pull, if you will, with those ankle bones. Maybe activate some inner thighs. Arms are still finding that downward energy into the mat. So I don't know about you, but my upper back is kind of on fire right now. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Now let's come back onto that first position. All right. So pause here for a moment and just make sure that you're not locking the knees out. There's still Your legs and your muscles are still active here. And now I want you to also think of the toes reaching up into the bar, the ankles lifting up off of your shin bones, the shin bones lifting up off of the knees. And just find that length and that lift, right? So we're not just sagging down into our joints. And then from here, you're gonna flex at the ankles and then point the toes. It's a flex at the ankles and point the toes. So no matter where your knees are at, they're gonna stay stable as the feet flex. So you might even do what I'm doing right now and just kind of holding onto the knees and just seeing, are they shifting? So I notice when I go into a point, I really feel this kind of push down through my hip sockets and my tailbone anchor heavy in order to keep this angle of my knees, which is tough. Let's do 3. Waistline is long, and 2, and 1. Fabulous. Go ahead and bend the knees in. Carefully take your feet off, and then let's slide you forward to where when your arms go straight, your hands are just over your shoulders. So let's just start with knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And let's go hip socket distance apart. Let's do that. So find that tripod connection down through your feet. Punch the fists up to the ceiling and just pause here. I want you to feel like you're breaking the bar by pushing your thumb creases up and pulling your pinkies down. And you should notice, or I'm hoping you notice, that your wrists kind of straighten out a little bit. So keep that energy and now push the bar up a little bit. Find protraction, so shoulder blades pull apart. And now find retraction, shoulder blades glide around your ribs and try to hug your spine. Shoulder blades pull apart and then they hug together. And all the while, the ribs are staying collected and still, and the tailbone is staying heavy. So it's just the shoulder blades gliding around the rib cage. Let's do 2 and 1. Now find where they're kind of just settled somewhere in the center of protraction and retraction. And now find protraction again. And then maybe you add a little chest lift, keeping the tailbone heavy, and then come down. Let's do that again. Find protraction. Think of fists going up, sternum going back, and then maybe you do a little chest lift, and then come back down. Keep that breaking of the bar energy. So right now I'm feeling my forearms. Tailbone stays heavy, just lifting that chest up and then back down. Good. Let's do a couple more like this. And then on this last one, I want you to also feel like you're pulling the bar towards your thighs as you come up. And then back down. I lie, we're gonna do 2 more like that because I really felt things kick on. So break the bar, now try to slide the bar towards your thighs and then back down. Making sure your chest is still relatively open. Let's do that again. Shoulder blades are wrapping around and then come down. All right, so now I want you to come to the side that your spring is not on for a little bit of a hip opener. So I'll be facing you. That forearm is gonna go up against your upright, and it's gonna be my left foot on that push through bar. So I'm gonna go with the straight leg today on my bottom leg. And then when you're here, I just want you to feel that top hip is rolling forward. And if you're tight like me, you might already be feeling the stretch here. So make sure you've got a good grip on the bar and you've got a little bit of a point out through the toes. So think energy coming off of that big toe. Gaze is forward, neck is long. Feel that top hip draw down to your inner thigh. And then keeping all those things, now can you start to bend the knee, bring the bar towards you, but that knee is gonna try to go behind that top shoulder and then press it back out. So if you get into this position and feel like you are just super jammed up, you can always do this with your head the other way, just like you can do footwork. So top hip is really opening up to the wall in front of you, and that top knee is reaching back behind you. So you should be feeling maybe activation through your top glute and then an inner thigh stretch. And now let's just do 3 more of these. But on this next one, when you bring the knee in, I want you to take your elbow, if it's okay with you, and just kind of push it back. Roll the hip, even the top shoulder forward. Maybe the knee can bend a little bit more and then back out. Let's just do 1 more. Push that knee back, anchor down through the bottom leg, and then back out. Now hold the leg straight, and now we flex at the ankle and then point at the toes. And I know I said hold it straight, but if you tend to go into the back of the knee, maybe you just have a soft bend in the knee. That's fine. But remember, just like that tendon stretch we did after footwork, this is a flex at the ankle. So this knee joint is not moving, which is very tough, right? Let's do 3. Keep reaching that top hip to that bottom inner thigh. And 2. And 1. Awesome. Let's go ahead and bend the knee in. And let's switch your springs and let's do the other side. Okay. So get yourself set up. Back is up against the edge of the mat. Toes come on. So just take a moment to find your head to tail length. Maybe a little bit more energy off that big toe, top hip reaching down to that bottom inner thigh, and then start to bend the knee. Take it slow on the first couple because every day is different, right? Now, I personally like to grab onto this mat here and kind of pull my upper body forward just so I can really get deep into this hip opener. I'm very tight, I need it, but if that's not for you, hand can just be into the mat. The bottom leg is still active and it's rooting down into the mat. And remember, you're keeping just a point on those toes. And also taking note what side is tighter than the other, if at all. Now on these next 3, you're gonna bend the knee and push that knee back as that top hip goes forward just a little bit more, of course, if that's okay. 2 more like that. Push into that knee. Maybe you can go a little bit further and back out. It's like going into like a deep goblet squat and then driving the elbows into the knees. Oh, it feels so good. And then back out. Now hold here with the leg reaching long, and now we flex that foot and then point the toe. So yes, you're pushing up into the bar, but think of also kind of pushing it away from you, and hopefully that'll help deepen that stretch in that top leg or hip. Kind of like how we do everywhere else with the pedal. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Fabulous. Let's go ahead and now switch to sprung from above. All right, so lying down like you were going to do teaser, but we are not. So just make sure that that bar is not going to give you any reconstructive surgery on your face, right? And finds that break of the bar, right? So fists are wrapping around, pinkies are engaged here. Bring your knees into your chest and just hold here for a second. Find the broad collarbones, find the sternum kind of drawing down, fists going up. And then when you're ready, curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. Find that chest lift here, but now work that pull or that push of the bar towards your shins. And now straighten your left leg out as your right knee pulls back, and then switch. So right into single leg stretch and switch. Think of that leg that's reaching out as going into a leg spring. So it's reaching out and down. Hips are staying stable, so your box is square for 3 and 2 and 1. Bring both knees into your chest. Inhale, send the legs away, you hold, and then exhale, bend the knees in. Now you know you can always do this with your head down. But this arm connection to your back is super important here. The grip, important as well. Inhale out and exhale in. These next 2, I want you to try to find a little curl of the hips up and then back out. Almost if you're going into a little rollover and then back out. Last one. And then back out. Go right into your scissors. Hang in there. Scrape those toes across the room for 3 and 2 and 1. Hug the knees in. Maybe you rock them from side to side. Just take a quick moment. Maybe turn your head from side to side. Okay, so we're gonna do our lower and lift, but then do a little play on crisscross and kind of a corkscrew. So bring the legs up, hug them together like there's no daylight between those legs. Find that ab curl if that's for you. And now lower the legs down, 2, 3, and then float them up. What's most challenging for me is finding that push on the bar. So even as the legs go down, I'm trying to pull the bar down towards my legs. Let's do 2. And last one. Bring the legs up. Now, sway the legs over to the right. You lower them down to the right corner of the mat. They circle around to the left and then up through center. Over to the left, circle them down and around and then to center. Remember, head can be down. Keep those big toes besties as they reach across the room and back up. One more each side. Back up. Last one. Back up and then bend the knees, place the feet down. So once the feet are on the mat, find hip socket distance apart, tripod connection with those feet. So just take a moment and find that connection. Find a gentle protraction of the shoulder blades. Arms are just gonna stay still. Let's just go ahead and roll the hips up, find a bridge here and pause. Just like we've been doing everywhere else, feel like you're pushing that bar down towards your thighs if you were doing breathing. And then melt your spine all the way down. Yep. Again, curl the hips under. Keep that inner thigh connection working. Your collarbone is broad. And then melt, melt, melt. So the more you push that bar like to the end of the mat and down towards the thighs, I want you to feel the back of your thighs working to combat that sliding of your body back behind you. So it's like you're doing a hamstring curl. Let's just do one more here. Roll your hips up and just pause. Find all of those connections that we've been working on. And now lower your right hip down a little bit and then pick it back up. Lower the left hip down and back up. Right hip and up, left hip and up. Make sure the front of the throat feels open. Just working a little twist in the hips. Remember that tripod connection with the feet. You have 3 and 2 and 1. Find level hips and then pull your seat to your feet as you melt all the way down. All right, let's go ahead and turn over onto your stomach. Take the bar with you. Let's get set up for swan. So your hands are on that bar. Find that pull apart, that break of the bar. Forehead goes into the mat. Your legs are reaching long and together. Now open up your hips to the mat and then bend the elbows wide across the room. And then straighten the arms. Pull that bar apart. Try to lengthen those upper traps. And then push the bar away. Now shrug the shoulders into the ears. Glide them back down your back. And then bend the elbows. Lots of space in your neck. And then back out. Now keep the arms straight. The pubic bone is heavy into the mat. Press down into those palms. Reach your heart forward as you come up into your swan. And then lengthen back down. Once your forehead hits the mat, let's bend the elbows again for your shave. And then straighten the arms back out. Arms stay straight. You rise up, lift up. Allow the ribs to come with you. And then lengthen back down. Again, bend the elbows wide. Arms go straight. You rise up. Try to get those elbow creases kind of pointing up to the ceiling here. And then lengthen all the way back down. We'll do one more shave because it feels lovely. And then straighten the arms back out. All right. Let's come to seated. Facing your tower, feet go up against the uprights. So let's just start by hanging on the bar and just finding equal weight into your hips, your pelvis, your legs, your feet. Staying with this arm connection to the bar, you're breaking it, all those things. You're pulling it apart. Now take a big breath in, and on your exhale, I want you to push the bar down as you round up and over. Keep that downward energy through the back of the legs. And now start to roll your pelvis back. Roll it back, and just find yourself kind of hanging on the bar once again. Big breath in, and then on your exhale, you go up and over. Just like your ring presses, tailbone is still curling under, and then roll yourself back. Last one here, use that exhale. Feel that work in the upper abdominals, and then roll yourself back. Find your long line here. Right hand stays on the bar. Left arm, reach it back behind you, keeping equal weight into your hips. And give me a little press down into that roll down bar as you reach back. And then come back to center. Left hand on, right arm off. Keep driving equally through those feet. Press down through that left arm. Heart is opening. And then come back to center. Again. So feel your spine lengthen. And then back to center. Last one here. Take your gaze with you. And then back to center. Awesome. All right, so from here, let's go ahead and lay down on our back. All right, so lying here on your back, your feet are in line with your uprights. Go ahead and place the arches on your bar. All right, so think of hugging those inner thighs together, even hugging on that wooden block if you're working on classical. Anchor down through the arms, find length out through the crown of the head. And now just start to pull the bar into you just like a hamstring curl. And before the bar starts to go away from you, I want you to pause right there. Hook the balls of your feet on just like the foot bar and really dig in to find that hamstring connection here. And then can you keep that hamstring connection as you push the bar away? And then same thing here, drag that bar across the floor as it comes in. And then it goes back up. Let's do that one more time. Find those hamstrings on the way out. And then hold here with legs straight. Okay, find a strong downward press through those feet, a softening down through the base of the ribs. And then from here, can you try to roll the hips up off of the mat? If you're looking at me, it doesn't look like I'm doing a whole lot, but I'm really feeling my backside working, and then just melt your spine back down. Let's do that 2 more times. Go ahead and just curl the hips under, push down through those arms, try to levitate those bones off of the mat, and then melt all the way down. Remember to keep the hug of the inner thighs, the reach out through the big toes. Again, curl the hips under, little hover, and then melt back down. All right, bend the knees, pull the bar back up. Once those legs are straight and the bar is back up, from here, you're gonna roll the hips up, find your bridge here, and just pause. Soften through the sternum. Think of that pubic bone going higher than your 2 hip points, and then just melt all the way down. Once your tailbone is heavy, just roll the hips back up. Arms are reaching long, and then pause here. How stable can you keep those hips as your left leg comes up and back, and then lower the leg down? Right leg goes up and back, and then down. One more time each side, and down, up and back, and down. Once both legs are down, melt, melt, melt. Once the tailbone is heavy, let's go ahead and bend the knees, pull the bar into you as you press it away. And then bar comes back up. All right, so once the legs are straight again, feel that inner thigh connection, arms are into the mat, roll the hips up, and then pause here. I want you to take your left foot into the mat and pause. So like one leg is doing a bent knee bridge, other leg is doing a straight leg bridge, and hold. Are you getting this stretch down the top of your left thigh? If not, it's okay, but just think of this long line reaching off of your knee, and then from here, pelvis stays stable. Bend your right knee, pull that pedal down, pedal bar down, and can you straighten the leg out and then pull it in and then back up? So I am hoping that you are feeling some back of the leg or just posterior chain action as you send the leg away. Now, if you're not, as long as your hips are staying stable and level, you're working back there. And you might even want to place your hands on your hips just for some extra feedback. That tailbone is reaching long. So you're kind of doing a hamstring curl with one leg and static with the other. Let's do 2 more. Hang in there. Last one. Reach that big toe up and over. And then leg comes up, bar comes up, left leg comes up, right foot comes down. Let's just go right into it. Find your long line, pull the bar into you, and then press it away. Now, if you're pressing that leg out and down and you're thinking, gosh, I feel this in my back, this is just too much, don't go all the way out. Think of this as your pelvic lift, your leg springs in the air, those kicks in your bridge, your scissors, your bicycles, all the work from your spine corrector. I'm hoping by saying all these things, I'm kind of distracting you a little bit, but maybe you're starting to find some connections. So let's do 3. Maybe we'll just do 2 more. And then up, neck is still long here, hang in there. Last one, push that bar away. and then up, and then from here, other foot comes back on. Level the pelvis, melt your spine all the way down. Just kind of wiggle the hips a little bit, pull the bar into you, press it away. Hold your feet pressing down into the bar, reach the arms up to the sky, take a big expansive breath. And then on your exhale, lift the weight of your head up and then roll yourself all the way up. Now bend the knees, grab onto the bar. Let's do a little monkey stretch because we need it, right? Press the legs out or the bar away and then pull the bar back in. So make sure you're getting that stretch wherever you need it, whether it's in your back, your low back, the back of your legs, and just kind of rock back and forth. Last one here. It's also like you're rolling like a ball. Okay, let's go ahead and take your feet off. Let's come up to kneeling and let's do a little side bend. So make sure that you are in line with your hand that's on the bar, and let's go legs zipped up together. So the tailbone is long, right? Spine is long, all of those things. Now just press that bar down and just hold here. It's kind of bossing me around a little bit. I got to go a little bit closer and then bring that bar back up. So I'm going to do this with a bent elbow today to start. So think of drawing the elbow down and then you press the bar down. So it's kind of like a tricep press. So collarbone stays broad, shoulders stay level if you can. And then down. Now hold the bar down, squeeze those legs together, press down through the shins. Left arm comes up. You go up and over. And then keep pressing down into that bar as you stack your spine all the way up. The elbows got to bend and then come back up. Yep, let's do that again. You draw that elbow down and then you go up and over. And then stack your spine back up. Equal weight into those shins if you can. You can definitely feel mine shifting. And then come all the way up. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Legs, zip them up together. Finds the spacing that works best for you. So you kind of pull down to feel that space being created with between shoulder and ear, and then press the bar down. You bend the elbow, it comes back up. All right, pubic bone stays forward. Let's do one more. Press the bar down, finds the arms straight. Right arm comes up and over. We side bend. We lift the ribs as we go up and over. And then resist as you come all the way back up. 2 more times here. Press the bar down, up to go over. Keep lengthening the tailbone, squaring yourself off to the wall in front of you, and then stack yourself back up again. Lift the ribs, open up that opposite side, and then stack it back up. All right, let's now turn and face your tower and come into this kind of wide high row shave position. So let's bring the knees to hip socket distance apart. Pull apart on that bar so you find that space in your upper back. Shins are pressing down. And then from here, just let yourself go back and find a thigh stretch. And then row yourself back up. Adjust where you need to get that thigh stretch, okay? So let's add on here. I want you to think of those kneecaps kind of lifting up to your hip points, and then you go back. Just let the arms kind of help and guide you, and then come back up. Pubic bone stays forward, tailbone stays long. Now let's add on even more. Kneecaps, they lift up. Think of this as a hamstring curl. So you're pulling yourself back. Now we use the arms to resist the pull and then come back up. So you're creating your own tension. It's a pull of your seat towards your feet, just like your thigh, or just like your kicks from the mat, and then back up. Again, pull yourself back. Feel those hamstrings lift, and then back up. Now we add in a little back bend if you like. So you go back. Once you go back, press down into that bar. Feel your chest roll open. Feel the heart lift. Take the gaze up, up, up. And now nod your chin, flatten yourself out, and then pull yourself back up. You got it. Inner thigh connection is still at the party. Hamstring, pull yourself back. You press down, just like chest expansion. Roll the chest open. Lift the heart, lift the chest. And then nod your chin to kind of roll out of it. Okay, last one here. I lied, not last one. We'll do 2 more. So hamstring, pull yourself back. Pause here. I want you to take that left arm up as your right arm presses down, finds this kind of one arm back bend, and then nod your chin. Take the arm down. Can you stay here? Right arm, it lifts up. Left arm presses down. Remember that pull apart on the bar, it's still here. And then gaze comes down. Whew, I felt that shake. Arm comes down and then pull yourself up. All right, from here, press the bar down, nod your chin, roll yourself out. All right, just find a cat-cow. If you want to hang out here on the bar and just sway the hips, maybe rounds the spine, tuck the hips under. Now meet me in that tucking of the hips under. Let the head fall. Press down through the bar in the arms. Pull it into you and then stack your spine all the way up. Finds that shape at the top. Let's do that one more time. You press the bar down, nod your chin. You get longer as you roll yourself out. Allow the shoulders to shrug up into the ears if that feels good. Take a big expansive breath in. And then on your exhale, you press down into the bar, curl the hips under, lift the ribs, just like up stretch. So kind of undulate your spine all the way up, 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 and you are done. Nice work.